started the meeting 10 minutes ago, but somehow no one was able to join in, and I had no understanding that none of you could join. So I'm waiting over here and thinking what's going on. Luckily, Srimati told me that there is a glitch. So I signed out and started all over again. I hope you could hear the Kirtan.
Yes, Mataji, now we could hear. Please make Radha Vinodini Mataji as co-host.
Okay. Make Radha Vinodini co-host. So go to participants.
Yeah.
Radha Vinodini and click on co-host. Make co-host. Okay, there we go.
Thank you, Mataji.
Yes, make Radha Vinodini co-host. And we invite her. Her Grace Radha Vinodini Mataji will be giving class today on Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 2, verse number 3. Over to you, Radha Vinodini. My humble obeisances to you. All glories to Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. And apologies for not being so technically savvy like Srimati.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for everything. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada, all glories to Guru Maharaj. Thank you so much for handling everything, because I wouldn't be able to do it at all. So thank you. I just do the screen sharing.
Record to the cloud so that your class. Okay. There we go. Now we are complete.
Okay. So I think we have the screen sharing also. So Hare Krishna, dear devotees. We will continue with Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, second chapter, and verse number 3. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Ata kavir nama suyavadarta syad apramatto vyavasaya buddhi siddhi nyatarte nayate tatra parishramam tatra samikshamanaha. Srila Prabhupada's translation. For this reason, the enlightened person should endeavor only for the minimum necessities of life, while in the world of names. He should be intelligently fixed and never endeavor for unwanted things, being competent to perceive practically that all such endeavors are merely hard labor for nothing. Srila Prabhupada's purport. The Bhagavata Dharma, or the cult of Srimad Bhagavatam, is perfectly distinct from the way of fruitive activities, which are considered by the devotees to be merely a waste of time. The whole universe, or for that matter, all material existence, is moving on this jagat simply for planning business to make for planning business to make one's position very comfortable or secure, although everyone sees that this existence is neither comfortable nor secure and can never become comfortable or secure at any stage of development. Those who are captivated by the illusory advancement of material civilization, following the way of phantasmagoria, are certainly madmen. The whole material creation is a jugglery of names only. In fact, it is nothing but a bewildering creation of matter like earth, water, and fire. The buildings, furniture, cars, bungalows, mills, factories, industries, peace, war, or even the highest perfection of material science, namely atomic energy, and electronics, are all simply bewildering names of material elements with their concomitant reactions of the three modes. Since the devotee of the Lord knows them perfectly well, he is not interested in creating unwanted things for a situation which is not at all reality, but simply names of no more significance than the babble of sea waves. The great kings, leaders, and soldiers fight with one another in order to perpetuate their names in history. They are forgotten in due course of time, and they make a place for another era in history. But the devotee realizes how much history and historical persons are useless products of flickering time. The fruitive worker aspires after a big fortune in the matter of wealth, woman, and worldly adoration, but those who are fixed in perfect reality are not at all interested in such false things. For them, it is all a waste of time. Since every second of human life is important, an enlightened man should be very careful to utilize time very cautiously. 1 second of human life wasted in the vain research of planning for happiness in the material world can never be replaced, even if one spends millions of coins of gold. Therefore, the transcendentalist, desiring freedom from the clutches of Maya or the illusory activities of life, is warned herewith not to be captivated by the external features of fruitive actors. Human life is never meant for sense gratification, but for self-realization. Srimad Bhagavatam instructs us solely on this subject from the very beginning to the end. Human life is simply meant for self-realization. The civilization, which aims at the utmost perfection, never indulges in creating unwanted things, and such a perfect civilization prepares man only to accept the bare necessities of life or to follow the principle of the best use of a bad bargain. Our material bodies and our lives in that connection are bad bargains, but the living entity is actually spirit, and spiritual advancement of the living entity is absolutely necessary. Human life is intended for the realization of this important factor, and one should act accordingly. Accepting only the bare necessities of life and depending more on God's gift without diversion of human energy for any other purpose, such as being mad for material and enjoyment. The materialistic advancement of civilization is called the civilization of demons, which ultimately ends in wars and scarcity. The transcendentalist is specifically warned herewith to be fixed in mind so that even if there is difficulty in plain living and high thinking, he will not budge even an inch from his stark determination. For a transcendentalist, it is a suicidal policy to be intimately in touch with the sense gratifiers of the world, because such a policy will frustrate the ultimate gain of life. Shukadev Goswami met Maharaj Parikshit when the latter felt a necessity for such a meeting. It is the duty of a transcendentalist to help persons who desire real salvation and to support the cause of salvation. One might note that Shukadev Goswami never met Maharaj Parikshit while he was ruling as a great king. For a transcendentalist, the mode of activities is explained in the next shloka. Om Gyanati Mirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Candramauli Swami Niti Namine. So, wow, this verse speaks about a lot of topics. So I had to choose a few, and I think even like this, it will be a wide ride this time, mentioning many aspects. I thought that the main topic of this verse is renouncing the opulent life and living a simple life, only accepting the bare necessities. So that would be the main point, and I would check it out from different angles. But before that, just to have a little bit of context, I would speak a little bit about other things, because in the previous verse, we could read I go check it out. So in the previous verse, we could read about how the Vedic sound can bewilder the intelligence of people. So the result will be that they will aim for heavenly kingdoms, for sense gratification and such things. And if we go back to our verse today, it is about what an intelligent person would do, who is really intelligent. And in this regard, I would just like to speak a little bit about what it means to be intelligent. Here, it's not really used the word of intelligent, although enlightened. Here, this verse uses this word enlightened. But it's nice to understand what it means how intelligent people act, because many times that word is used in such verses. So many times we can think that generally we think that when someone can reason in a logical way, that is what it means to be intelligent. And when there is a great knowledge in the sense that background information, great background information, together with logical reasoning, it means that someone will be intelligent. But actually, intelligence is like a machine which just processes whatever data is put into it, and will give something on the other end of the machine. So the work and the results of the intelligence very much depends on what kind of input it gets. So many times we see that there are people who we can't really consider as intelligent people, and they don't believe in God, they are materialist, they just engaged in material science and don't even want to listen to self-realization and such topics. And we might be surprised, wow, how they are intelligent. But this is the difference, that they get different input. And intelligence is a very tricky thing. I heard a nice discussion about it some time ago, that there is one of our acharyas, Ramunaj Acharya, and he has a commentary called Sri Bhashya for Vedanta Sutra, and that in that commentary, he with logical reasoning, he proves that God exists. And right after doing that, with logical reasoning, he proves that God doesn't exist. So it was very, very interesting thing that he uses logic both for proving God's existence and God being not existent. And by this logical reasoning, he proves that it's not possible to prove God's existence with logical reasoning. So Krishna's existence is beyond any reasoning, any logic, and it's not enough. Intelligence and reasoning is not enough to reach him. And devotees, whenever logical reasoning is useful in the practices of bhakti, they use it, and whenever it's not useful, because there are times also when it's not useful, then they don't use it. So it's not possible to reach Krishna with intelligence, but it's a very useful tool many times to reach him. So just I thought I would just describe this topic a little bit. But going back to the main topic of doing austerities, living a simple life, why it's necessary. So when it's about desires and opulent life, I always first think that there is this story which immediately comes to my mind, when there is a guru and his disciple, and they are living together. being engaged in meditation and prayers. And at one point, the guru says to the disciple that, my dear disciple, I have to go for pilgrimage, but please just remain here, do your sadhana, do your practices, and live a simple life. And when the guru leaves, the disciple nicely acts according to his instructions. But one day, after washing his loincloth and just putting it on a branch of a tree to dry, and while he went to ask for some donations for people begging, when he got there back to the tree, he saw that his loincloth was chewed by a rat. And he decided that, okay, I will get a new loincloth. And this time, when he got it and washed it, he put it on a higher branch on the tree that maybe the rats won't be able to get it. But the same thing happened. And the disciple was thinking, what to do? I cannot do this thing day by day, getting a new loincloth from people. So he decided that, okay, the solution will be that I have to get a cat. So the cat will take care of the rat. But after some time, he realized that, okay, but now I have to take care of the cat. So I will need a cow. So with the milk of the cow, I can feed the cat. And some time passed, then the disciple realized that, okay, but I also have to feed the cow, so I have to maintain a land, small land, so I can take care of the cow. And after some time, he realized that, okay, I will need a building because I have to store somewhere safely the food of the cow. So he built a building. And he already had a cat, a cow, a land, and a house. So he realized that, oh, this is too much for me. I need to have a wife and a servant so they can take care of all these things. And this is what happened. And after some time, the guru came back and he didn't even recognize the place, what happened here. And he met with the servant, and the servant told him that, oh, I don't know anything about these things, but I will call my master. And the master came, who was the disciple of the guru. And he was very happy that the guru came back, and narrated this whole story, how it happened. But the guru told him that it's not about the loincloth. It's about the desires, that whatever you desire and whatever desires you fulfill, the desires will never cease to exist. There will be always newer and newer desires. So better just to stick to the bare minimum. And the disciple realized that, oh yeah, my guru is right. So he went back to the simple lifestyle. So when we have some kind of desire and want to satisfy it, and when we can fulfill the desire, it can happen that we get it. And then two things can happen. One is that we are happy with the fulfilled desire, but we want to make sure that we won't lose this thing, whatever we acquired. So we want to secure that we will have this thing for eternity, but obviously it's not possible. And the other thing which can happen is that either we are not happy with whatever we got and want something else, or the happiness is decreasing due course of time. So we want to intensify it. So we want more quantity or something else. And in the purport, Srila Prabhupada says that, sorry, I just... Yeah, so he says that to make one's position very comfortable or secure, although everyone sees that this existence is neither comfortable nor secure and can never become comfortable or secure at any stage of development. So we have this illusion that we can achieve comfort and security, but in this material world, it's just not possible. So whatever we do is just not possible to satisfy our desires eternally. It's not this world. And in computer science, there are these bits, ones and zeros, and this is the very, very basic of computer science. And from bits, these zeros and ones, there will be bigger parts called bytes. And from these bytes, we can just see on the screen that there are documents, there are videos, there are audios, we can see nice pictures, and the basic of everything is just these zeros and ones. Similarly, the material world is made up of three things, these so-called material modes of nature. There is goodness, passion, and ignorance. And out of these three, everything comes. So there will be the basic elements like earth, water, fire, air, and ether. So these are like the bytes made of the bits. And all the bytes, there will be even more complicated things. So whatever we have, a home, a car, so many things, mobile phone, computer, air conditioner, or something like that, all of them are just made up of these material modes of nature. And we call them different names. So Srila Prabhupada says that the whole material creation is a jugglery of names only, which is funny that there are different combinations. We give a different name to it, and oh, this has a different name, then I will want to acquire that, and that will make me happy. Then we experience that, oh, this didn't make me happy, but there is something which has a different name that will make me happy. So whatever we acquire, whatever we call these buildings, furniture, cars, bungalows, mills, factories, or whatever, there are these are different names, but none of these will make us happy, and none of these will make us happy on a long term, for sure. And this is what also Prabhupada said, that we are just trying to chewing the chewed, because we think that from the same thing we will get a new taste, but from the same thing the same taste will come, and after some time even that taste is gone. So it's just not possible. And I was thinking that it's very nice to examine a little bit this topic of simple life from such certain aspects. One of them, I mean, mainly from the aspect of Varnashram. So one aspect is how different ashrams should act connected to this topic of simple life. And from the four ashrams, 3 is quite simple, because brahmacharis don't have anything, actually, so almost anything. Traditionally, they live in the guru's ashram, and they go for begging into the nearby villages, and whatever they get, they give to the guru. And after the guru, for example, after the guru took prasadam, then the remnants will go to the disciple. So the brahmacharis don't really own anything, luxurious things, so it's not a problem for them to follow this principle. The Vanaprastha ashram is also quite simple, because they had grihastha life usually, And the Vanaprastha stage of life is about renouncing everything, because the focus is more likely on the spiritual practices, and just really, really keeping to the bare minimum. So that's the principle of Vanaprastha life. And sannyasi is even one step further, that they just travel, they don't have anything, they get donations, and whatever they get, they live off that. So that's what happens. So out of the four, the Grihastha ashram is where the complicated things will come, because the role of the Grihastha ashram is to give the donation to the other three, and they have to produce this wealth. And here it's very important to see that what is the difference between the desires and the necessities, because even Srila Prabhupada writes everywhere that we can accept everything which is necessary for us. The problem is that we are more greedy and want more than that, and we don't really have the proper intelligence to decide what is necessary for me. So what is the bare necessities, and what is the extra, which I can accept and offer to the Lord or whatever, or give in donations, but that's not really for me. And one important thing for a Grihastha is to understand that nothing is mine. Everything is Krishna's. And that's why it's very much recommended that Grihasthas worship deities, because that will help them to meditate on that, okay, this is not mine, this house is not mine, this car is not mine, this mobile phone is not mine, this food stuff is not mine. And this way they can relate in a healthy way to all the material wealth. There is one nice story in this regard, that one day Lord Krishna went to one of his devotees' home, and there was a bullock cart outside his home. Pointing towards it, Lord Krishna asked the devotee, "Whose bullock cart is this?" The devotee replied, "It's yours." Lord Krishna went inside the home and asked, "Whose home is this?" The devotee again replied, "It is yours." Similarly, Lord Krishna asked this question for all the things present and received the same answer. Even the devotee replied the same when he asked about his family members. After listening to this, Lord Krishna asked, "If everything is mine, what is yours?" The devotee said, "Undoubtedly, everything is yours, but you are mine." So this is a nice example how a devotee thinks that everything is Krishna's, but I don't have to worry, because Krishna is mine, and being surrendered to him, Krishna will take care of the devotee. And from a senior devotee, I also heard a very nice example of this way of thinking. She said that they have some friends in India. I think it was in Vrindavan, probably. I don't exactly remember the place, but anyway, so they visited their Indian friends, and the family put together a big feast. It was like more than 10 preparations and stuff like that, and they were really amazed that, wow, such a nice feast. You live like this every day. And we cannot do this. I mean, we just, making 1, 2, 3 preparations daily. And their friends, these Indian friends, said that, yes, you can do it, but we are not able to do it because, and they pointed to, there was a big curtain on the wall. They didn't see what was behind the curtain, but the family just pointed toward the curtain that Radha Krishna is here and we have to take care of them nicely. So we have to nicely serve them and prepare a nice prasadam for them every day. So it was so amazing, so inspiring that how much you know, instinctively they are just serving the form of the Lord, and they think of everything is theirs and nothing is for us, but we have to nicely serve them. So this way they had a nice feast every day, we can say, but not for themselves. It was purely for the pleasure of Krishna and Radharani. And so grihas have also these duties to remind themselves that this wealth, whatever they acquire, it's not theirs. One of them, these responsibilities is, as I mentioned, the deity worship. And there is the other thing which Srila Prabhupada mentioned, that a grihasta should, whenever they prepared prasadam, they should go out of the house and shout 3 times that whoever is hungry can come. And after everyone is fed, then the grihasta can eat. So this is the traditional method, and this way, the grihasta is always reminded that okay, this is not mine, and whatever they have is for serving the society, serving Krishna. And there is another point which is very interesting, that within the grihasta couple, what is the relation of the man and the woman to this wealth, to this lifestyle? Because obviously, when a man marries, his role is to nicely take care of the family. So, because he had some desires to have a family, he has some responsibilities also. So he has to deal with this material wealth, but nicely take care of it. And the woman is the one who, the nature of women is that women desire security. If there is no security in women's life, they become really frustrated, and it will always cause problems. And also the women are dependent. This is also the very nature of women. And so this is why it's very important to understand that, yeah, man represents control, and women represent enjoyment. And whenever the enjoyment of, or I would say here, this security of women is, there are obstacles in it, there will be problems. So this is why the role of the man is to make some security in the wife's life. And just some short story here, that there is the story of Chitraketu Maharaj in Srimad Bhagavatam. And we know that he had many wives, but for quite a long time he couldn't have a son or children at all. And after some time, being very desiring that, he had a son. There was an heir to the throne. And because he was so happy that while till that time he could nicely take care of all his wives, but after the son was born, all his attention was directed towards that one wife and that one son, and all the other wives were neglected. And I remember that I've heard this from Radhanath Swami's class, that he emphasized that all the wives of Chitraketu Maharaj were very qualified wives. So it's not like they had a bad nature or something like that, But because they were neglected, because there was this insecurity of their life, they became so frustrated that they got to the point that they harmed their husband by killing his son. So this is the extent of desire of security on the wife's side. And there are two interesting statements connected to men and women, the difference, which is connected to our topic, how much they can be renounced, how much austerity can be present in their life, and how they are connected to these things. So one thing is, which they many times say, that women are, I also heard 8 times more last year than men, and also heard 9 times more last year than men. And anyway, so it's stated in Shastra, there are some parts where it's stated that 8 times. Prabhupada in his commentaries write 9 times, but the difference is not big. But what it means actually, so many times people think that this is about sexual desire, but it's not exactly. So very interesting that wherever this word is, this statement is in the Shastra, that women are more last year, the Sanskrit word kama is used, and kama has different meanings. So it also means sexual lust, but it can also indicate desire, an object of desire, affection, love, passion, cupidity, semen, aphrodisiac, pleasure, amorous sport, male organ, or this is the funny part, the mango tree. So it's there that women really have more, they are more connected to material nature, because the role of women is to satisfy their husband in this way. They create a home, they create relationships in the family, they nurture them. So a woman has to work with this, and it is you know, there is a certain nature, and there is a way how to nicely engage it in Krishna's worship and service. So this is how it works nicely, that if a woman is in shelter, then there is a way how to engage it in service. And this will be the way. But this is the cause that that for women it's somewhat more difficult to just, you know, throw everything out. But there are ways they can do it, so it's not like not like it's impossible or they cannot do it. It's just women are more inclined towards safety in a material way, also, and that. And usually, when there is some kind of higher taste, it can even be a material higher taste, then they can renounce the lower. It happened like, you know, there is this story when Dhritarashtra leaves home, and just imagine there is a blind king and going to the Himalayas. Like, I mean, some devotees from Hungary traveled to the Himalayas, and they told me that it was really difficult when, you know, riding on the back of a donkey, and there is just a big this depth. Whenever you just, if you lose balance, you just fall down and certainly die, because these are quite big hills. And so just imagine a blind king walking on ways, like whenever his feet slip, he just dies. And what happens is that his wife, who is originally not blind, but practically blind, she decides to follow, because there is a strong relationship between the husband and the wife, and the wife just renounces everything which was there in the palace, and she can do it. So because of the relationship, it's if you think about it, it's practically a long-term sati, because the end of it is following the husband into death. It's just not immediately stepping into the fire, but quite the same thing. So women can also renounce the pleasures of life. The other thing which is connected to this topic is that sometimes it's mentioned that that men are more intelligent than women. And in this regard, it's even these modern scientists speak about it, that there are the left side and the right side of the brain. And women can use the both sides together. So left side is the rational thinking, and the right side is responsible for emotions, attachments, and stuff like that. And while women can use the two together, men generally use one or the other. And this is why men can think in a way that whenever they decide that they renounce something, it's just the decision there, everything is thrown out of the window, and they just follow this more simple way of life. Women, on the other hand, are not like that, because when women want to make some kind of austerities, renouncement, then there are some other aspects like, okay, let's move to that other place, but will we be secure there? What will others think? How this and that stuff will be managed? So there will be some other aspects which are connected to their security. So they cannot just leave everything behind. Like if the man, this husband, decides to move to Mayapur, then the wife will say, oh yeah, this is a good idea, but how will we maintain ourselves? What will be our service? Where will be our home? And all these other small stuffs will come up. So it's a bit different way of thinking. And when the husband is able to reassure the wife that, okay, everything will be handled, and if the wife can make sure of that, then it will be okay. She can move. And also, if a man wants to step into more austere life, for example, just deciding that, okay, I will eat more simply, then the man just throws out everything which is not suitable for that. The woman, for a woman, it's not like that. For a woman, there will be everything which if I mean, they just eat a bit more simply, but everything will be there which can help them if they decide not to. So more a gradual thing. So it's not like a clean cut or something like that. The other aspect is that women are smart, but in a more practical way. So if they see some examples, see how it works out in a practical way, then they can follow. But this is the third grade of learning, because the first is after hearing, I can follow something. And for men, it's more easier because they can more easily connect to the theoretical parts. The second grade learning process is I see it. So or I hear it. So not a personal experience. It's also more likely for the man, but for a woman, they have to try it out. And then, okay, if it works, then it's okay. I heard this example about this, that whenever there is a nice dress, there is a dress in the shop, and it looks a bit strange, it's a bit too bright colors, but the woman thinks that, oh, yeah, it doesn't really look nice, but maybe on me it will be nice, and cannot really get it out of their mind until they try it on. Then they see, oh, okay, this is really ugly, and they just don't buy it. So these are some obstacles for women to be more austere, because they have to make sure that everything will be secure, and this they have to try it out, and things like that. But Srila Prabhupada said that whenever he spoke about the nature of ladies, which is written in the scriptures, he used to say that women in Krishna consciousness is different. They are Vaishnavas. So that's something else. But womanly nature, we have to deal with it. I mean, women have to deal with it even as devotees. So it can have some significance in this regard, that simple life is works differently for men and women a little bit. So the other aspect, I just try to make it short. So we spoke about the different ashrams, but not yet about the varnas. So out of the 4 varnas, Shudra and Brahmana again is simple, because Shudras are just workers. They won't have big luxury around them, and for their way of life, it's not even necessary. And Brahmanas live an austere life, so they also don't have to have any wealth, so they can live simply. The more complicated are the case of Vaishyas and Kshatriyas. So both of them has to, out of their duties, they have to deal with wealth. And for a Vaishya, they are motivated by profit. So they have to work with it all the time. And for a Kshatriya, they have to represent, a king cannot dress like a beggar, because they have to represent the country, and politicians and all these. It's part of their duty to use wealth and live a somewhat more luxurious life. But they also are the ones who give the bigger donations. So Prabhupada speaks about it in this purport, that we have to be satisfied with the bare necessities. But the question is, what bare necessities mean in case of different people. So for Vaishyas and Kshatriyas, the bare necessities are somewhat different than the bare necessities of Shudras and Brahmanas. So we have to understand this. And this is why it's very interesting that Srila Prabhupada originally didn't want to establish Varnashram system in ISKCON, because he said that it's not possible to establish it in the Western world. Instead, he wanted to establish a Brahminical society, because the main point was that this process works so fast that if we follow this Brahminical society, it will be possible, because the goal of Varnashram is to uplift people from the lower modes to the higher modes, because in the higher mode, I mean in the mode of goodness, it's easier to effectively practice devotional service. It's supportive. So that's the goal of Varnashram system actually. And if we very effectively follow the devotional process, then that can uplift us. But due course of time, Prabhupada saw that it didn't work so fast for us. So Varnashram system is needed so that we can deal with what are our duties if we are in the lower modes of nature. And this is why at the end of his life, he said that half of his mission was not done because he didn't establish Varnashram system. So yeah, originally, whatever he wrote, that it wouldn't be a question what simple life means, because if we follow the Brahminical lifestyle, then it's obvious what is a simple lifestyle. But if there are Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, for them it's not so obvious. And I think I will shortly conclude. It's just two things I would like to add. One is that it's very important that whatever we have, to practice being satisfied. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says, I don't know it in English, but I will just look it up. So, and satisfaction, simplicity, gravity, self-control, and purification of one's existence are the austerities of the mind. So this is one kind of austerity which we have to practice, because this will support our Krishna consciousness, our self-realization. And being satisfied doesn't depend on how much we have. Being satisfied is a state of mind, and when we can practice this state of mind, there will be also gratitude, and this is the state where we can follow duties, we can be grateful, and actually this is where real religion starts. So when we can be in the mode of goodness, and then we can effectively step forward from the level of duties and gratitude to the level of love. And the last point, I was really thinking about what this, there was this phrase, world of names. And Srila Prabhupada spoke about it, that this jugglery of names. But it really reminded me of the other other names which we chant, Krishna's names. And for me, it's in this verse, it's such a nice contrast that there is this illusory world of names, the material world, and there are the real names, which is, I mean, real reality, Krishna's names. Which is not bonding us here in the material world, but uplifting us and liberate us. So I just also wanted to mention it here, that when we chant Krishna's names, that's a 100% different type of name, and that will be more helpful than just being engaged in these false names, which in reality just different names for the same things, so that we can continue chewing the chewed. Yes, so I think I will conclude here. It's always there is something more which we can speak about, but at some point we have to stop. So thank you so much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Radha Vinodini, for a very exhaustive explanation of this verse, giving so many wonderful examples, as well as practical examples, as well as stories, and then analyzing the differences between male and female psychology in terms of renunciation, as well as explaining how the different varnas handle opulence differently. There were so many things that you covered in today's lecture, that it is a very comprehensive lecture. I earnestly request all those who have been listening to this call to please go ahead and ask questions or share your realizations, or if you have any thoughts about this, please do come forward to share it with us. Radha Vinodini Mataji has prepared so extensively and spoken so authoritatively on this subject matter, which is actually very practical and relevant for us because ultimately we all have to progress towards sannyas. Because how else will we leave this material world? It's not possible unless we renounce the material world for the spiritual world. We are not going to be able to cross over to that side. So that's just a thought. I don't see any hands raised so far. So, Radha Vinodini, if you can kindly tell us that spiritual life means progressively renouncing this material life. Okay, we have Olga. Olga, go for it. You raised your hand.
Yeah, Mataji, but you were asking a question.
Oh, okay. I can wait if you want to go ahead and ask.
No, I will wait.
Okay, all right. So I was just requesting to know that for each and every one of us, whatever our ashram, whatever our varna, if we are serious about ending the cycle of birth and death and going back to the spiritual world, it means we must develop more and more detachment from this material world and more attachment to Krishna. How can we make that happen progressively and not get stuck? If you can just explain that a little bit.
Oh, it's very complex question.
Yes, that's
Yeah, so there are different ways of how we can. I mean, the main point is to be more attached to Krishna, because if we have the higher taste, then we can more easily give up the lower taste. So on one hand, we have to nurture this seed of bhakti, and there are different ways for that. One is obviously hearing. For me, the best example is always the example of Rukmini, who just heard about Krishna, and her attachment for him became so strong that she was even willing to go against her family, and that was big risk that they want her to get married, and she just writes a letter to someone she doesn't have any relationship with. So this is possible to achieve. I mean, yeah, she's the eternal associate of Krishna, so obviously that's a different level, but such a nice example. I mean, amazing. So that's one thing. Obviously, the second is Shravanam and Kirtanam. Kirtanam is the next. So the glories of the holy name is amazing. It's just we cannot even comprehend it. And just chant. So that's another way. There is this nice verse from, I think, Rupa Goswami, when he desires millions and millions of ears and tongues just to hear more of the holy name. So that's also such an amazing example for us. And obviously, there are the other angas of service. So all of them are possible to nurture this attachment for the Lord. The main point is always whatever we do, the goal is to remember Krishna and meditate on him. So whether we are hearing about him, chanting his names, or doing something for him, that should be together with remembrance. And whenever we are meditating on something or someone, we become more and more attached. So for me, at least, these are the answers. But the other side is, because I also spoke about Varnashram, so sometimes the the mind is difficult to deal with. And that's why we get some kind of material processes also, like the Varnashram system, because although bhakti doesn't depend on anything material, but obviously when we are chanting in front of a television or on public transport or hearing, but you know, we are just continuously looking towards the pot if it's already boiling. So these are obviously not supportive for the spiritual practices. And also sometimes there are some unfortunate people who have some mental issues that their mind works in different ways, so they also have to deal with that with material support. And you know, actually, even if something is material, but if it's supportive for Krishna consciousness, we should just use it. Because whatever it is, if we can practice our Krishna consciousness in a better way, then that's auspicious and useful. So it's I'm just mentioning this, that the main focus is always the spiritual process, but if there is something in a material sense that's supportive for Krishna consciousness, that I can my mind will be able to focus more on the spiritual process, then I also should use those things, because if I don't do it, then I just waste something which Krishna gave me, because whatever we get is originally from Krishna in a direct or in an indirect way. So yeah, for example, Varnashram system is one of these. So for example, I just mentioned my one personal example. For many years, I was very much into kirtans in a way that I really wanted to play instruments. But somehow I always had conflicts with other devotees, and I had some opinions on what my role should be in a kirtan, I mean, instrumentally. And it was so difficult, because, you know, when I have my ideas and desires what I should do, and these desires are not fulfilled, obviously there will be frustration. And in the end, probably there were quite a lot of Vaishnava parades also. And it was quite many years, Krishna just churning me. And after some point, I started to realize that, okay, I really like to play instruments, and it's the same. It's just my nature is originally not like that. I mean, my material nature. I'm more like the scholarly type. And I started to engage myself more in this kind of services. And it was so amazing that I started to experience that, okay, now I know what I'm doing. Because with musical instruments, I had some ideas, but somehow it seemed to be contradicting other people's ideas, and there were the conflicts. So with this studying type of services, everything became so much easier, and now I'm not committing so many Vaishnava aparats as before, and I'm doing my service with a more peaceful mind and can focus more on those things which are really important. So I just wanted to say this as an example that material arrangements also can be very useful in practicing Krishna consciousness, not because the arrangement in itself is so important, but if we can focus more on what is really important, then that will support our growing attachment. And obviously, there is the other side that sometimes we have to give up something. So we have to be attached to Krishna, but we have to be detached from the material world. And sometimes it happens that the higher taste comes sooner, but sometimes it happens that we just have to step into the seemingly the depth to see that to show Krishna that, okay, I'm depending on you and please help me. And then when we gave up with intelligence, what is the lower taste, then the higher taste will come. So it's a balancing between the two, but detachment is also a tool, but never a goal, because if we are detached and there isn't something which we are attached to, then it will just make the heart harder. So the goal is always attachment to Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you. That was a very nice answer, very nicely explained. Thank you so much, Radha Vinodini. Over
Thank
to Olga. Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Thank you very much for this wonderful class, Mataji. This topic is so it is something that interests me very much. I think almost every day I think about it because I am very much inspired by Six Goswami example, for example, by our Guru Maharaj's example. And, I always think about how do they manage to do it? I'm like, I'm trying to feel how to give up, but for me it is so far now. So my question is, to maybe to summarize, if I have understood correct, you have mentioned that for everyone, this let's say enough minimum, right, is different. And if I understand correct, for me to understand what is my minimum, I should see what interferes with my bhakti is something to, to let go. And I let go by, as you were saying in your previous answer, developing this higher taste, and it will like fall off itself. So I should not do like, effort to let go. I just, like grow and it will just fall off itself.
Sometimes it happens, but I also mentioned that sometimes detachment comes first and we have to do it by intelligence while not having the higher taste. So the principle I would say is that we always have to make some endeavor, but we have to see how much this endeavor is, because there is a difference between repressing desires and controlling the senses. And the balance between the two is that controlling the senses is doing this thing to such an extent that the mind is able to do it on a long term. But when we are repressing desires, what happens is that I have some needs, but I'm artificially repressing them and pretend like they are not there. And because there is this illusion, it's in the mode of ignorance. Controlling the senses is in the mode of goodness. But here there is an illusion that I think that, okay, I don't have these desires, but because they are still there, there will be the right trigger which pushes it and everything just explodes. So there is a difference between the two. And that's why we need to see what is our limit. So don't cross that limit. So we can the goal is to practice Krishna consciousness on a long term, not just practicing very, very, very nicely like a Paka devotee for 1 year. And we just leave after that because we cannot continue. The goal is to keep it till the end of our life and even further. So we have to make a continuous endeavor, but not crossing that limit, which would freak me out, so to say. But endeavor has to be there, because if there is no endeavor, we never go like this. We are always a little bit upwards or downwards. So if we don't do effort, then degradation will inevitably come. And we don't want that. So we have to make some small, or if it's possible, more endeavor, just challenging our limits. And by challenging these limits, the limits will be more and more far away. I mean, so we can do more and more. But you know, it's very, very much different for each individual. So it requires intelligence and honesty towards ourselves, because it's very difficult to really see where are our limits and act according to these. So that's really nice to ask advice from senior Vaishnavas who see us also and know us, and also have a higher knowledge, so they can help us determine where is this limit and how we can challenge it in a healthy way. So it's like balancing on a thread, you know.
Thank you very much, Mataji.
Thank you.
Thank
Did it answer your question?
Yes, I believe that so it definitely answers the question, and I need to reflect a little bit, you know, to feel my balance.
Mm-hmm.
But I believe I understand what you mean.
Thank you for the question. Yeah, it's not an easy topic, because many cases we like to lie to ourselves and to others. You know, when we know that there are expectations within with devotees, and I would like to live up to the expectations, and then it can happen that I lie to myself about where are my limits and what are my desires. So it's not an easy thing. But and also one other area where I see that this is such a big problem is the time management. How much service and other responsibilities we take on, because there is a limit how much we can take, and if we do more, then on a long term it will cause problems, generally health problems, mental problems, or something like that. So this is also something which is worth considering. Yeah.
Yes.
Nice explanation, Radha Vinodini, and a very nice question, Olga, that we all struggle with. And understanding our limits, understanding our capacities, and as Radha Vinodini says, we have to do things in such a way that we can carry on for the long haul. Not that we plan to do, high level of service 1 year and then burn out. That's not very, advisable. So one has to see where and how to do the things. And as Radha Vinodini explained so clearly, we need advice and guidance and mentorship from seniors also. Very nice. So I don't see any other hands raised, and we are 51. That means about 20 minutes past the hour, 21 minutes. So if it's all right with you, we can stop. Or if you want to continue with chanting or any other questions or realizations, I humbly request you to take over the call, Radha Vinodini, because I have to go to another call.
Mm-hmm. Well, in 8 minutes, I also have something else. So So if there is no questions, then I think we can conclude.
Okay. So thank you all, dear devotees, for joining in today. My humble obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya evacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Let us heartily thank Radha Vinodini for giving such a scholarly presentation, and we wish that we can practice all the wonderful points that you have given us today, Radha Vinodini, and improve and not be just like this, not go down, but keep going up towards Krishna. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you for engaging me. And I hope I also will be able to practice.
Hari Bol. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you very much. Very good.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare